Hey everyone, this is Bellagio, and we are getting very close to New Year and Christmas and New Year. And that being said, we are having this new four new units introduced to us last night, and it's gonna be dropped this weekend on Friday for me, but weekend for many of you. Yeah, so in this video here, we're gonna talk about them in details, compare them side by side, see how we should how we should be using them, and so on. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So I like to bring you to this page first. It's the official website of One Piece Treasure Cruise. You can go into this website and then you can look into details of each units. There's a lot of text, a lot of reading that you have to do. That's why I will not be using this. I kind of like modified it a little bit into this version. The spreadsheet, the old school version. So put them here, and then I can see how do they relate it? How is the synergy between these units? And maybe it give us idea of what to comes or how to use them, a sequence of activation and so on. Alright, without further ado, let's jump to the first one, Emmet. So Emmet here, Captain Ability is considered quite okay compared to other end of month batch. Emmet here is just an end of month legend. He is not considered the Super Sugo Fest legend. So I'm not going to compare him with Super Sugo Fest legend. As I said, his attack 5.5 boost, quite okay. That's good enough for him. One thing that I need to point out about his captain ability is that he reduces all enemy beneficial by 1 turn if you meet the condition. This condition is that you need to have Luffy as a crew, and then you activate Luffy's special. Then with Emmet as a captain, he will remove all enemy beneficial by 1 turn, and this is quite unique. It's like you are launching the special of Gear 5 Luffy. So I could think of only him that can do the same thing as Emmet here. So it's quite unique. And then this line here is a little bit confusing for me. Why am I saying it's confusing? Because the first sentence is that if you meet the requirement, Luffy as a crew and an activated special, then it applies effect to each enemy to reduce damage taken over 1000 by 100%. Okay, that's a lot of words, a mouthful words. But it's kind of give us a feeling that enemies can be attack us with really low damage, right? And then the next line, the next line said nullify all damage, all the attacks. And this is why it is confusing. Okay, if you are going to nullify all attacks, then what's the point of having the damage taken over 1000 reduce that? It's just a little bit puzzle for me. And then the last sentence, I like it. It's activate HP guard 100% for 1 turn. Activate HP guard. This deals with damage come from burns, damage comes from pain, and meaning we're not going to get any damage from those, which is cool. And if you have any units that has rush special, you hit with rush special, usually you get HP, you get damage from that. With this HP guard, you're not getting any damage from that. So that's cool, another cool thing. So all in all, Emmet's captain ability, I think I like it, not bad. It also has utility to remove, prevent something, but you have to meet the condition. Looking at Emmet's special, the first 2 lines are considered okay. It's good. Those 2 gimmicks, barriers and resilience, it's not like end of the world. It's not like crucial gimmicks, but it's not bad. I take it. Okay, and then it boosts several things, but we're gonna just ignore it. I mean, we just take that it boosts something, okay? The key thing that I want to talk about with Emmet is set chain multiplication. So Captain ability, come back to Captain ability. It said if we use special to set chain multiplication, it will extend by 3 turns. Then if we have it, it will also boost that effect by 0.5. And then right here it said if we have set chain multiplier, it will give us chain multiplication growth rate. And then later on it will reduce 4 turns of chain multiplier. So if you read through all Emmet's ability, Captain ability, or even super type, Emmet himself does not give us set chain multiplier. This kind of hint give us a hint that there might be some other units who gives us set chain multiplier. Who is that? We don't know. If you read Luffy, Bonnie, Kuma, and then Saturn, none of them give us set chain multipliers. So my expectation is that probably tonight or tomorrow night we should know details about rare recruits that come along with this batch. So hopefully the rare recruits give us set chain multipliers. Questions. What if we exclude those rare recruit? If we only considered legend in the past, what legend that could give us set chain multiplier and has good synergy? That would be this guy. And his name is nothing but Dr. Vegapunk Stella. He's int, which is, yeah, as you can see, everyone here is int except Saturn. And then he's Cerebro and Free Spirit. And his special basically said you can choose 2 out of below choices. And one of the choices is boost chain multiplier by 1.8. So I think if my assumption is right, this is the same as set chain multiplier, and this should activate it emits either Captain ability or special. So he would be a good candidate in my opinion, but we have to wait and see what would be the rare recruit that comes along with this batch. Alright, so if I have to give scores for this Emmet, I have a score sheet right here. Emmet would be on the first column here, and yeah, I would say summation, Emmet is considered a can pull unit, meaning if you have enough gem, if you have enough, you know, rainbow tavern metal, you can try to get him. It's nothing wrong with it. He's good. If you compare him with other end of month batch, he is quite good. And actually, if you read details about his rumble ability combined with Luffy and Bonnie's rumble ability, there's a synergy, very good synergy between these 2 units. It's more like if you pull one of them, it is recommended to pull another one. For example, if you pull Emmet, I would recommend you to try to focus on Bonnie and Luffy. Or if vice versa, if you pull Bonnie and Luffy and then you have some gem left to pull, focus on Emmet, try to get him. Okay, this is kind of spoiler alert. You see what I judge for Luffy, Bonnie, and Kuma and Saturn already. These 2 are Super Sugo Fest, so it is expected that they're going to be good, and therefore all these 3 units going to be considered a should pull, meaning yes, you can invest on them. Nothing wrong with not pulling though. Alright, go back to my previous sheet. Now we're going to move on to Luffy and Bonnie. Luffy and Bonnie, they are very strong units. They have really good captain ability, especially the attack boost. You can see that it boosts by 6, boost int, free spirit, and cerebral by 6. But if you meet the condition, this could be further buffed by 1.4, and if my math is correct, that's equivalent to 8.4. That's huge. Okay, so this unit here is gonna hit crazy hard. However, the drawback of this unit is that if you read through all his captain ability, he does not prevent any gimmick. He does not have any passive gimmicks removal or gimmicks cancellation. That's the only bad side, because as you know, many events nowadays, bosses stage 3, stage 2, or stage 5, when we work our way up to stage 5 or the last stage, they have gimmicks on us, and if you don't have passive prevention or protection, it makes it harder, make it hard to build a team. So we will have to see. My thinking is that this unit here will have to be combined with other usable captains that prevent gimmicks, that has passive prevention, and then he will shine. Okay, you will be able to build teams that can beat the content. My feeling is that this unit here, this unit here is going to be good for the upcoming Kitsuna Super Boss towards mid or end of January next year. Yeah, next month as well. Yeah, so that's the first thing. He's a good captain booster. He does have something weird, similar to Emmet, which is the very last sentence here. If you meet the condition, then you get this. Allow the crew's following effects to ignore immunity to all status effect. And those effects are weaken and then the increased damage taken. But if you read through his ability, his captain, his special ability, his EX super, he does not put weaken or increased damage taken. So we need to look into other units that come together with this batch. Which units puts weaken or increased damage taken? And we will find that Saturn V2 actually gives increased damage taken status to the enemy. That means what? That means Saturn can be in our crewmate of this team. But as a crewmate or as a friend captain, we'll come back to that later. But as of now, Luffy and Bonnie, if you want to use them at full potential in your crew, you should have someone that can put weakness or decrease damage taken, and then you can activate this. Alright. So one of the Luffy's special ability, he will boost damage. He will boost attack to damage dealt with enemy that has this effect by 2.75, and that's quite big number in my opinion. And then if you read through his special ability, there's one thing weird about it, is that it said that if your special activated when normal attacks are able to deal damage ignoring all defense, then it will apply this boost. However, when I first read Luffy and Bonnie's special, you will not be able to say that this unit can launch special twice. If you looking at the EX right here, it said that it reduced special charge time of this character by 3 turns. But what's the point? 3 turns is not enough. Luffy and Bonnie's special charge time is 20 turns. So 3 turns is, you still have 17 turns to go. So there's no way that you can activate Luffy and Bonnie's special twice. Yeah. So at that point, if you read only Luffy and Bonnie, maybe you will not find the answer yet. We will come back to this later. The next line it says here is that if this character is a captain and the in type is set as a support character, then he will give Straw Hat and Egghead unit normal attack are able to deal damage, ignore defense. So you launch him the first time, you will get this, but you will not get this. And that's the question. How do we activate him the second time, does that mean we have to have him both as our captain and our friend captain? That's another possibility, but there's a way to activate him twice with just with just him being your captain, and that's answer comes in the next unit, which is Kuma. Okay, so if you read Kuma, and then if you finish reading Kuma and Luffy and Bonnie, you will see that these two has really good synergy on the normal play content. We'll come back to Luffy and Bonnie later, but let's read real quick on Kuma what he does, especially right here at the EX. If you activate his EX, he reduces captains and this character, meaning himself, special charge time by 17 turns. Now everyone's like, oh, I see. That means the sequence of how to use Luffy, Bonnie, and Kuma, the sequence is like this. You have to activate Luffy, Bonnie special, and then you can activate Kuma EX. Then go back to Luffy and Bonnie and activate their EX. That way you get 20 turns total special charge time reduction. Then at that point you can activate Luffy, Bonnie special the second time. There you go. The answer to that is you need to have Kuma. And this being said, if you pull Luffy and Bonnie, you kind of want to have Kuma, and again you kind of want to have Emmet as well. So Bandai decide this. They think about it. That's why they came up with this intertwined abilities, intertwined synergies, and make us pull for all units, right? So otherwise you cannot use it to like full potential. Okay, so back to Kuma. His captain ability I think is okay. The good point about him is that he has somewhat like a passive prevention, gimmick prevention, like crew cannot be blown away, and then he also reduced himself bind duration by 10 turns. I said this is I think if you read all the ability on Kuma, I think he's better off being a crewmate. Because what? Because this right here, crewmate ability. If he's a crewmate, he reduced this character's special reverse, spatial bind, and bind by 10 turns. And then, not only that, he put all slot to rainbow at the start of the quest. All slot as rainbow. And this, as a crewmate, works really good with Luffy, Bonnie as a captain, because Luffy, Bonnie as a captain said lock crew slot for 10 turns. And then make recovery or rainbow super tandem applicable to recovery and all rainbow. It's just this Bandai thought about it. Bandai wants you to have Kuma as a crewmate and then Luffy and Bonnie as the captain. That's it, period. So because of this, we're not gonna focus on Kuma being captain at all. And his special though, Kuma's special is quite interesting. He basically convert type effect. At this point we know that we can launch Kuma special twice. Okay, so the first time he will basically put type effect to your team, and then the second time we will convert that type effect into somewhat like called a stackable type effect boost. It does not consider type effect. Okay, so meaning later on if you have another crew that can give you type effect, that still applicable. So you have type effect and then you have stackable type effect, and then your attack will be even harder, even higher damage. Okay, so that's all for Kuma. He is considered very good. If you have Luffy and Bonnie, you will consider pulling Kuma, and again consider pulling Emmet. So if you have to prioritize, the first unit that you want to pull is Luffy and Bonnie, definitely. Then second one, if it's a gameplay, like normal gameplay, then you want to focus on Kuma. And then the third one, if it's about Rumble, PvP mode, then you want to get Emmet, because Emmets work really good with Luffy and Bonnie. I'm not going to be talking about Rumble ability in this video, but just so you know, if you read the ability in that website that I show you, you will see how good Luffy, Bonnie, and Emmets are together in the same team for PvP. Alright, let's move on to the last unit here. Mr. Saturn, I'm going to call him Mr. Saturn version 2. He is the only unit that come out in a different color. He's going to be in a strength and driven, cerebral. However, he's still good in the team with Luffy and Bonnie as your captain because he is cerebral, right? So what does he do? When I read captain ability of Saturn version 2, it's somewhat mirror effect of Bonnie and Luffy. He does not have any passive gimmick prevention, but he boosts attack a lot. He's gonna, if you have him as a captain, you're gonna hit hard again. One thing to mention, I already mentioned earlier, which is increased damage taken. Increased damage taken, so he can be good with Luffy because he's gonna put increased damage taken, and then Luffy is gonna give it through all the immunity, right? So at his special as is already ignore immunity anyway. Yeah, so he's gonna be good, but should you put him in a crewmate or should you put him as a friend captain position? In my opinion, because of this right here, it says that if you have 4 more eggheads, and then you can act, and then if your crew has type effect boost, then you get these thing. So this synergy with Kuma that gives you type effect, it's something that makes sense in my opinion, and because of this, I think Bandai wants us to build a team of either Saturn and Luffy and Bonnie. These two has to be captain and friend captain, vice versa. In my opinion, it has to be Luffy and Bonnie is your main captain, and then you put int support on him, which is gonna give you some benefit. I don't remember where exactly is that, but yeah, if you have int support on him, then he give you something. Now I couldn't find it. Where exactly is that? 4 more straw hats. Perform excellent. Hey, it is somewhere. Oh, there it is. Here you go. If the character is a captain and then it has int type as a support character, then you get this. That's why if you put him as your friend captain, you will not be able to do this. So because of this line here, this effect here, you want Luffy and Bonnie to be your captain, your main captain, and then you would want Saturn version 2 as your friend captain, and then you have Kuma, Emmet as your 2 crews, and then there are 2 more spots. Those could be rare recruits, or those could be future or past legends. That's we don't know. Yeah, but good candidate could be what? That int Dr. Vegapunk Stella. All right. This being said, it's pretty much done for the analysis of these 4 units. All in all, just to wrap up real quick, they all good units. If you have to prioritize what unit you should be pulling, is Luffy and Bonnie, definitely. If you don't have this guy, you have others, it's no meaning. You need Luffy and Bonnie first unit. Then if your gameplay is mainly focused on normal gameplay mode, then the next unit would be either Kuma or Saturn. But I would say Kuma would be second priority. However, if you also play a lot on PvP, then you should consider trying to pull Emmet as well. And then later on, the last unit that kind of you might not need it because he can be on the friend captain is the last guy, Saturn version 2. So he would be the last priority in my opinion. Alright, I hope you guys enjoy my video. Hope it's not too long. And thank you for watching. If you like this kind of content, please hit that like and hit subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. And by the way, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.